Hello, this is Claire again, and this is our second tutorial on rotations. So when you're rotating, there's three things you need to know. The direction, is it going to be clockwise, to the right, or anti-clockwise, to the left? How many degrees are you going to rotate? 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 30 degrees, it needs to be stated. And where is the centre of the rotation? So when we rotated our isosceles triangle, or this is an equilateral triangle, our centre of rotation was in the centre, but it doesn't have to be. It can be anywhere. You can have the centre of rotation right on a corner here and it can rotate around. That's a clockwise rotation. Or you can have a centre that's some distance away, like the sun, and it can rotate around an external point. So our centre of our rotation is going to be on the corner. So I'm going to call it O. Sometimes it's called C, sometimes it's called O. So this is our trapezium. Let's label the corners A, B, and C. So our image rotation will be A prime, B prime, and C prime. Now we need to decide what we're going to do. So let's rotate 90 degrees to the right or clockwise. So it can be, your question could be posed in either way. So here we go. You're going to need to draw each line to the centre of each corner to the centre of rotation, and then you're going to need to measure 90 degrees using a protractor or a set square. It's a bit easier with a set square, so I'm going to use that. If you don't have a set square, you could use a corner of a book. So that gives you a right angle too. Sometimes you just have to make do. Right, so let's start off with A. Luckily, A is already joined to the centre of our rotation. So from that, along that line to the centre, you set up a 90-degree angle, and I construct my 90-degree angle. So that's 90 degrees. A to the centre of rotation, and there's 90 degrees. So A prime, or the image of A, will be somewhere along that line. How far along the line do you think it will be? It's going to be exactly the same distance as it was before. So, of course it will be. So, it's 3.5 here. So, I'm going to measure 3.5 over here. And there it is. And we're going to call that A prime. It's a bit like a piece of string, isn't it? If you held the string here, moved it 90 degrees, it would be the same distance. So we'll do the same with B. Draw a line from B, the point B, to the centre of the rotation. And now measure 90 degrees. Sometimes it can be quite surprising where these shapes end up. It's quite hard to predict them. They can go off the page. So I'm drawing a long line here, and that's 90 degrees in there. And now I'll need to measure. B prime will be exactly the same distance from the centre of rotation as it was previously. And that's it's about 6.6 centimetres. So 6.6 centimetres up here is here. And we'll call that B prime. Oh, we just have to trust this process because at the moment it's a bit hard to predict. Point C is certainly already joined to the centre of rotation, so I can just form a right angle, and it's pretty easy. It's straight up there, vertically in fact, nearly bumping into my writing and showed you that it wasn't very accurate. Let's draw it a bit neater. Should run along the grid line. Okay, so let's measure that. I know that's 8 because I drew that earlier. So 8 centimetres up. Here it is. Exactly on a grid line. And that's C prime. Okay, I think I need to get a different colour for this. Use my pen. Right, now I can sort of see this shape because O was originally on the shape and it's still on the corner. So I can draw that line down from C to O, from C to B, and of course A and B must be above each other and parallel to the base because it is a trapezium with one set of parallel lines. And there we have the image of ABCO rotated around the corner O 90 degrees in a clockwise direction. Can you predict where the same shape would be, the original shape would be, with 180 degrees projection or rotation? Be careful, it's not a reflection, it is a rotation. And if you predicted that it would be down here, so kind of flipped, you'd be right. So there's the centre. It's 3 centimetres high, 1, 2, 3, and 4 centimetres long at the top. So it doesn't take long before you become quite proficient with this kind of stuff. And I've just constructed an 180 degree rotation in a clockwise direction. So this here would be C double prime. This would be A double prime and B double prime. Okay, thanks for your attention and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.